Hello and welcome to JSB Talks Digital, the podcast for marketers, small business owners, and those of you bringing your skills into the digital age. I'm Joanne Sweeney-Burke and I am the founder and CEO of Digital Training Institute. Coming up in today's show, takeaways from VidCon, Facebook changes their algorithm again and launches MSQRD Live. Huzza pulls up a chair at the live broadcasting table. I speak to Cliona Connolly, Irish press officer at the EU Parliament. My shoutouts: Social Media Day 2016, the 4th Annual Global Data Conference, and the launch of DigCit Institute and DigCit Kids. My featured column: why Snapchat is the rising star of social media, and Missing Letter, the social media tool that saved my working week.
Social media news.
Why do I feel that in every episode of this podcast that live video dominates? Well, probably because it's taking over all global social media conversations. 30,000 people attended VidCon in Anaheim, California recently, and there was lots of exciting news coming from it. Despite the time difference, I was able to catch early morning Facebook Lives from Joel Comm and Michael Stelzner on the big news breaking in online video. Live video is changing the social media landscape. Here's 3 takeaways from VidCon. Facebook announces it will be launching a new Facebook Live feature where other users can drop into the live feed as guests. The social network will also allow you to schedule live broadcasts in advance. YouTube announced live video via their new mobile app. Straight from the YouTube app, creators will soon be able to hit the traditional red upload button and see the option to go live. Finally, Forbes reporter Bree Brower says, platforms are proliferating, but it's what we do with them that matters. I think this is a crucial point. It is impossible to react to every single platform change. However, it's how we integrate those channels into our digital marketing that matters. So are you video ready? Are you prepared for live video? It's not going away, folks. So start experimenting and getting yourself front of screen. In other news, not another Facebook algorithm update, not less reach, not more emphasis on pay to play. Yes, I'm afraid so, my social media friends. So Facebook has announced another algorithm update, this time claiming that it will serve more of what our friends and family are posting to our news feeds. It seems that Facebook is concerned that we are sharing less on the platform and they are going back to their roots. So what will be the side effects of those changes? Facebook says content posted by publishers will show up less prominently in news feeds, resulting in significantly less traffic to the hundreds of news media sites that have come to rely on Facebook. Meanwhile, they have also launched their face morphing app MSQRD Live at VidCon. Users choose a Snapchat-esque filter and go live on Facebook while still in the app. So as it deals with a decline in sharing on the platform, Facebook is aiming to prove that it's cornered the live streaming market. Huzza has pulled up a chair at the live broadcasting table. With Blab seemingly disappearing off the live video radar, Huzza has stepped in. Some key influencers have already moved platform, including Michael Stelzner of Social Media Examiner, who hosted a weekly social media show on Blab. Joel Comm has also jumped live video ship. Joel hosted the longest running show on Blab called Blab Talk, which he co-hosted with Vincenzo Landino. Huzza describes itself as live video built to bring creators and personalities closer to their followers. It's got some wicked features and is available on mobile and desktop. You can set up and schedule your live video events. You can make it public or offer it exclusively to your top followers. The choice is yours each time you stream. It's got live text chat. You can also see selfies from your viewers, and replays are instantly available with dynamic chat and interaction. I've signed up, so now to host my first live broadcast on Huzza. Log on to Huzza, HUZZA.io, and let me know how you go. Tweet me at tweetsbyjsb.
Interview.
In today's show, I'm joined by Cliona Connolly, Irish press officer with the EPP group in the European Parliament. The EPP is the largest political grouping in the EU with 215 centre-right MEPs. Cliona works alongside the 4 Irish Fine Gael MEPs and is based in Brussels. She has held this role for the past 5 years, but previous to this worked as a journalist in Ireland, first working in regional print journalism as editor of the Monaghan Post, and then in broadcast journalism with Shannonside Northern Sound. Cliona, you are very welcome to JSB Talks Digital. Thank you so much for joining me.
Thanks for having me. It's great to be on. I'm honoured to be interviewed because I've listened to your podcast and read your blogs, and they're always so useful and informative, so I'm delighted you thought of me.
Thank you so much. That's a great compliment. Where in Europe are you today?
I am in Brussels, so just right at EU heartland, I suppose.
So you're another one of my podcast interviewees whom I've actually never met in person, but came across on Snapchat. And I know you've seen that I've been using you as a case study in my Snapchat training programs because I absolutely love how you use the platform. So first of all, tell us, when did you start using Snapchat and when did you decide to use your own account for work?
Well, I downloaded the app maybe 6 months ago, but really I had heard about it and I downloaded it first to just follow celebrities myself. Had no intention of snapping. And then when I opened the app and got to see how some people were using it, I just thought, wow, this is like the ultimate platform for journalists because it's all about storytelling. And I was really shocked at how little journalists were actually using it. And then in my own job in public relations, I saw the same potential. And I suppose, as you will know too, as a former journalist, and especially in broadcast journalism, we're used to telling stories and we're used to being very concise and informative and clear. And I think Snapchat is the perfect platform for that, even in terms of training, because you just have the 10 seconds to get your sentence out as clearly as possible. And I actually love it. I think it's brilliant, and I can't believe people aren't using it even more. So after giving it a few goes, I really enjoyed it, and the feedback has been just amazing, so positive. I think it's probably the most positive platform, social media-wise, that there is, and everybody has been saying they find myself so informative and helpful and factual, so I'm really delighted with the response.
And how have your work colleagues responded to your snaps?
Well, at first they kind of were a bit confused and thought, but Snapchat, isn't that just for teenagers? And, what do you do on Snapchat? And a lot of them hadn't downloaded it because they really thought it was for a much younger audience and not for PR. And then I showed them some examples. And then because of the positive feedback I've been getting, people have been tweeting me to say that they prefer my snaps to news even, which is a huge compliment. So when they saw that reaction, they were more interested, and certainly we have an internet team within our press service, and they have cottoned on to this. And I think actually today I can give you an exclusive to say that the EPP group is going to be the first European political group to launch a Snapchat, and we've actually just snapped today. I did a little cameo for them. So that's the impact I've just been using it professionally for over 3 months. And within that time, they've seen the benefits, and we've launched Snapchat for today.
Yay, my first podcast exclusive. Thank you so much.
Yes.
I've been harboring for an exclusive for quite a number of shows and nobody's bitten. So well done. You're my favourite interviewee so far for that. So I remember studying the EU as a political science undergrad, and I visited the EU Parliament as a journalist, and now I watch and listen to news reports as an independent observer. But let's face it, EU politics is complex. It's not the sexiest subject around, and it can be difficult to understand. Do you think the platform like Snapchat helps you communicate your job better because of its brevity?
Absolutely. And, as a former journalist, I really detest misinformation, and that's why I really, for me, I want to provide factual information that's clear, easy to understand, and if I express a personal opinion or a group, political position, I will say that. So I think that's really important for transparency and trust for your followers. But also, I know that the EU information is not always interested, is not always presented in the best way, and it's often jargon heavy. So for me, my whole aim is to just provide clear, useful information from the EU, but with positive EU vibes, because I'm kind of a positive person and I'm very pro-EU myself, as my followers will know. But I do want to be very clear so that people can trust the information I'm giving. And I think that's what's key. It can actually teach people how to tell stories in very concisely, because it is that little 10-second snap. And, really a long story for me, if it's like a really intensive day, like the day of the Brexit referendum in the UK, my snap story was 4.5 minutes, which was very long. So usually about 2 minutes max. So it's very short.
I was just going to ask you about Brexit. I mean, it's dominating radio airtime and newspaper columns still a couple of weeks after the event itself. What's been the fallout from Brexit across social media?
Well, interestingly, I think before the Brexit, there was a lot of, obviously the Leave campaign seemed to be very active on social media, maybe a little bit more than Remain. And for me, in terms of information in social media, I had discussions on Facebook with people who were in Northern Ireland and planning to vote to leave, and so they were telling me and reporting back to me some of the misleading information that was provided by the Leave campaign, and then I was providing factual information to counter that back. And unfortunately, no matter what independent source I quoted, they kind of just said, "Oh well, I'm voting out anyway. I don't trust EU sources." So that to me was kind of shocking and worrying. But I think in the aftermath of the Brexit vote, there has been a sea change in public opinion and trust. And I think now people are more wary and realise that it's very easy to say something to get headlines, but now they want to know the truth and they want the facts. And I think that that's where I could come in at this point by providing factual information and that they know that they can trust me as well. But in terms of social media, the day of the Brexit vote, you could just see the shock and sadness and disbelief across Twitter and Facebook and the outpouring of emotion, because I think people were very emotional about the decision as well. So it really has played out on social media.
So before we go, I want to ask you your 3 top tips for a political organisation or a campaign-based organisation who might be attempting or intending to dip their toes in Snapchat. What would you say to them?
Okay. Well, I would say my 3 top tips would probably be plot, structure, and style. And by plot, I mean plan your story. What are you going to say? What's useful? What's relevant? Why is this important? And you kind of need to grab attention. So say if I'm talking about air passenger rights, I might ask someone if they've ever had a flight delayed or cancelled, and do they know their rights as a passenger for that situation? And then structure, you need to think that every story has an introduction, a middle with the main points, and a conclusion. So you have to tell them what you're going to tell them, and then tell them what you've told them. And that can be very good to keep yourself to the story structure that you've planned. And then style-wise, I think it's important to know your style, whether you're going to use emojis or not, that you're going to be very positive, that you show a bit of character, personality, and be authentic. And develop that as you go and have fun with it as well.
Fantastic. I love it. It's been wonderful to speak to you, and I'm sure that we will finally get to meet in real life. But until then,
so.
Congratulations on the new EPP Snapchat account. I will be adding as soon as I take off my headphones. So
great, thank you.
If you want to find out more about the EU, certainly add Cliona on Snapchat. She's Connolly_Cleo. You can also follow her on Twitter at Cliona Connolly.
Shoutouts.
In this part of the show, I give shoutouts to those who are remarkable online and worth talking about. My first shout out goes to everyone who took part in Social Media Day 2016. Did you know that website Mashable launched Social Media Day in 2010 as a way to recognise and celebrate social media's impact on global communication? There was one particular Social Media Day event I was following online, and that was Tyler Anderson's in San Diego. Featuring lots of social influencers, I knew I was guaranteed to get lots of live footage right into my smartphone, and I was not disappointed. Joel Comm, Carlos Gill, Brian Fanzo and Sergeant Mark Marty kept me updated throughout the evening. Given the 7-hour time difference, I was able to watch in the evening and enjoy the speakers' presentations just as if I was there. Thanks, guys. My next shout out is for the 4th Annual Global Data Conference, which is taking place from August 30th to September 1st in Santa Clara in the San Francisco Bay Area. It was appropriate that I was announced as a speaker on Social Media Day. My 40-minute presentation topic is Why Stories Rule the Social Web for Generation Z. So, I will offer insights into Generation Z and their digital footprint. Generation Z describes those born from the mid-1990s to the early noughties, and they currently make up 25% of the US population. I will also outline how digital natives are engaging with the social web in terms of social media use, mobile app downloads, digital lifestyle habits, website interactions, and content creation. I will also discuss current and future trends before concluding on 3 tools available to data analysts to gain actionable insights. To find out more about this event, log on to globalbigdataconference.com. Finally, I'd like to give a big shout out to Mary-Alice Curran, who has been spearheading digital citizenship for a number of years and who co-founded DigCit Summit with David Polgard. She has just announced the launch of 2 new exciting projects. DigCit Institute, focused on DigCit research, curriculum and professional development, and DigCit Kids. Her 9-year-old son, Curran, is the Chief Kid Officer at DigCit Kids, Digital Citizenship for Children by Children. I'm looking forward to having Mary-Alice and Curran on my podcast soon. But for now, be sure to follow them on Twitter at DigCit Institute and DigCit Kids.
JSB's column.
Why Snapchat is the rising star of social media. If you're not on Snapchat, get over to the App Store and download it now. Did you know that Snapchat is actually 5 years old? My daughter Sophie started using the social network after its launch. Now it's her favourite social network. And my 6-year-old son Bobby is also engaging with it, albeit with adult supervision. I am fortunate that research relating to the use of social media by millennials and plurals is right before my eyes. So what's the hype with Snapchat? Initially, we all believed Snapchat was the answer for teens and tweens who wanted to social network outside the glare of their overprotective parents. However, what it has become is a highly engaging social network with 10 billion video views a day and 9,000 photos shared every single second. While we are sharing less personal information on Facebook, the opposite is true of Snapchat. Newbies to Snapchat are baffled by the 24-hour stories they see before their smartphone eyes. There are photos with filters and multicoloured captions, selfies with emojis, random 10-second monologue videos which disappear, and adults face-swapping with their pets. I can completely understand their reservations to step into the zombie-like world. However, let's get a bit deeper about Snapchat as a storytelling tool. We all know by now that video is the most pervasive content type on the social web, and its power is being evangelized by most social networks who are promoting video at every opportunity. Facebook Autoplay, Facebook Live, Periscope, 60-second Instagram videos. The difference with Snapchat, however, is threefold. We are more likely to use the video feature because of its maximum 10-second duration. We have less inhibitions on Snapchat and so share more personal information. And we are influenced by those we have added as Snapchat friends and are, with little self-awareness, emulating their antics. The word on the social media marketing street is that Snapchat is here to stay, and its value to brands is more precise now than ever before in terms of brand storytelling and personalised customer engagement. What are you waiting for if you haven't already signed up? And don't forget to add me, JSB Snaps.
Social media tool of the week.
Social media tools are absolutely necessary to run your business. As more platforms and more features emerge, we require third-party apps to help us keep on top of our social media workload. The tool that saved my working week is Missing Letter. I recently committed to writing one blog post per week, and while I've achieved that goal, the hard work begins in promoting your blog posts. For any of you that blog, you will know that creating engaging tweets from your blog posts takes time. Then you have to schedule them on TweetDeck or another third-party app. It's not difficult, it's just time-consuming. Enter Missing Letter. This tool will create a series of tweets for each of your blog posts and schedule them on Twitter for you. So how does it work? Set up a free account with Missing Letter. A free account allows you to connect one blog to one social profile. Then you connect your blog RSS feed to the tool. When Missing Letter detects a new blog post, it will create a series of tweets, each focusing on different parts of your blog. Give it a try. As soon as you publish your next blog post, Missing Letter automatically creates a year's worth of social media. All you have to do is review and then approve it. But guys, top tip, here's how you spell Missing Letter. MISSINGLETTR. So I'm joined in this show by my 6-year-old son, Bobby B. Bobby, thanks for joining me.
Thank you, Joanne.
Well, I wanted to ask you because I've heard that you like social media. What is your favourite social network?
Snapchat,
Why do you like Snapchat so much?
because they have these filters.
So what is your favourite filter?
Face swap.
And who do you face swap with?
My dad.
And how does face swap work?
It's like you have two people and then you swap faces.
So does your dad look young and you look old?
Yeah.
What's your mum's favourite Snapchat filter?
The pretty ones.
And what about your sister Sophie? Which one does she like?
She likes the ones where she has the flowers in her hair.
So out of 10, on a scale of 1 to 10, what score would you give Snapchat?
A 10.
Fantastic. Thanks, Bobby B.
Okay. Bye.
Thanks for tuning into this episode. If you want to read more about what I have discussed on the show, log on to digitaltraining.ie and click on podcasts. I'll have links to everything there. If you are interested in becoming a guest on JSB Talks Digital or have an event you want to promote, drop me an email to joanne@digitaltraining.ie and write podcast on the subject line. I'm also continuing with my free monthly webinars on Big Marker, the world's biggest webinar community. So check out bigmarker.com/Digital Training Institute. Don't forget, you can tweet me at tweetsbyjsb and please add me on Snapchat. I'm JSB Snaps. Thank you for tuning into this episode. It makes the hard work worth it. I'm Joanne Sweeney Burke and this has been JSB Talks Digital.
JSB Talks Digital.